All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Greg Komparek. I'm an editor at TechCrunch. I want to welcome up Federico Musto and Kathy Giori of Arduino. They're going to tell us. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Thank you.
Here you go.
So what is new in the world of Arduino?
Okay, let me open up. First of all, good morning, everybody. Thanks a lot to invite us. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here today. So we just prepare a couple of I don't know, slides or whatever to show you what we announced here at the CS. And we have also a couple of demos.
Can you hold the mic a little bit closer?
Sure, and a couple of demos that we would love to share with you about this new technology that we have today. So probably everybody remember our Arduino Uno.
That's actually a good question. How many people have used an Arduino before? Okay.
Okay, so good enough. Well, for the people that don't know what is Arduino, Arduino is an open source, open hardware project. And of course, behind this open source project, there is a company, is an Italian company that has now offices, of course, in US and Asia. And we produced for 10 years ago a pretty famous product for the maker community, that is the Arduino Uno. Okay, so this is the word, well, basically how it looks like one of the first projects that you guys can do with the Arduino. You know, there's a breadboard, wires, sensor, LED, and stuff like that. In this case, we are showing also the Arduino Wi-Fi, that basically is the Arduino Uno, but with a Wi-Fi technology built in. So this is how it looks like, I say, a hollow word for the first Arduino project. So we move from here to a new concept, and probably specifically for IoT. And of course, we can talk about IoT, and everybody has maybe a different opinion about what IoT is, what it will do, but you know, we don't want to cover that. So we present something that we call Arduino Primo. So an Italian primo means first. By the way, Arduino is an Italian company, but the community behind Arduino is everywhere. So this is the value of the Arduino. The value of Arduino is the community and the people that work in the Arduino, that work outside Arduino, so teacher, professor. I'm sure, Greg, you make some project with Arduino?
I have.
Cool.
Nothing that I would ever show because
okay, well, whatever.
I am not the best coder, so it.
Well, one of the value of Arduino that's really is, and this is probably the secret sauce, is the combination between art and technology.
Sure.
So the guys behind Arduino was interaction designer, so was an artist, and they was looking a way to keep the complexity of the technology at some level that everybody can use. So that is one, probably the secret sauce of the Arduino and the community behind Arduino. So we announced this Arduino Primo, that is an interesting board that has basically Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. I'm sorry?
There's a block diagram you can show.
Oh, there's a slide? Oh, I don't see the slide anyway. Anyway, the Arduino Uno has Arduino Primo has Wi-Fi connectivity, Bluetooth connectivity.
That's the one. There we go. Now we can see it behind you.
Oh, here you go. And NFC and infrared, and very low power management system. And interesting that we believe that should be the next evolution of Arduino 10 years later. So the first board was Uno.
Whereas with the Uno, most of these things would have been added through shields and.
Correct. Okay. Yeah. But shield, for the people that don't know what shield means in our vocabulary, is basically a daughter board that you can fit in top of the Arduino, and that extend capability. Talking about shield, we just announced yesterday 2 new shield with the LoRa technology. Are you familiar with LoRa?
I'm not.
Okay, LoRa basically is a sub-giga frequency transmission that allow you to create a network in a very easy way, and is pretty popular. Is an open open concept where everybody can build a gateway and a node in some way that you have a server and client, just to try to keep very simple what we was doing here.
If I were to build something and say I needed to run it out in the woods and have it communicate back to my gateway, to report back on, I don't know, moisture levels in soil. Could it do that with LoRa?
Oh, absolutely. And one of the interesting, that is a very, very low power consumption, but long distance. So we're talking about 15 miles.
Oh,
That's just with a very simple antenna and stuff like that.
Okay.
So over the Arduino Primo, we build something that we call Arduino Primo Core, and we have a couple of demos that we'll run later, that basically allow you to have exactly the same functionality that we have on the Primo in the very, very small coins form factor. You can recognize here the coins batteries, and we have basically it's a two-layer board. The first layer is a NFC antenna, and then we have a Bluetooth with different sensor, humidity, temperature, gyroscope, accelerometer. So, and is a stamp module. So in the way that you can use as a final product, but also you can solder these on your PCB. Okay. And the last thing that I'm done is the evolution of this little Primo Core. Maybe you guys remember LilyPad is a very famous wearable product. So we make an evolution and we call it the AlicePad, and that's basically where we can fit the Primo Core in top of this daughter board. I think we have a slide, you can see that. And interesting, we'll have not only NFC and Bluetooth, but we are going to add Wi-Fi and LoRa client. So this is what we think will allow the Arduino community to expand and grow even more on this IoT space.
Okay. Is that the company's focus now, is mostly in IoT?
Well, IoT is an opportunity for, is a bigger opportunity in the way that IoT is, and again, we need to discuss about IoT, but I don't think this is the right place. But it's really something that you can, for example, the same thing that the community was building with the Uno, Mega, and all the Arduino products, now they also can build and connect whatever they are doing on the internet or in the personal cloud and stuff like that. So the answer is yes. We're very focused on this IoT new landscape. We're focused a lot on the mobile. So we're going to release in open source all the apps for Android, iPhone. We're going to release whatever we build in the Docker, container stuff. So where the people can use basically in the cloud, like Google, Azure, Amazon, whatever, but they can also build their own cloud at home and enjoy this little cloud technology just at home. Makes sense?
It does.
Cool.
So what are the use cases comparing the Primo here? I'm sorry, Primo here versus the Primo Core?
Well, is let's say we start to build this small form factor to allow our makers, our user, to have some, let's say, some easy way to move from prototype to production. I'm not calling it about mass production. I'm just talking production. So let's say you make a funny project with the Primo. Maybe you want to monitoring your bike or your sprinkler in your backyard, and everything works. And then you want, let's build a 100 sample for my friends, or eventually to sell this product in some little store. And we can see an interesting store that we built in Germany to allow our makers to also sell what we're doing in the public market. So it's really a STEM module in the way that allow you to use the same technology that we have in the prototype boards in some small production form factor. That's the goal. The goal is to allow you to have an easy way to move from prototype to production.
Okay, perfect. I know you guys brought along some demos. Can we look at those?
Yeah, we have a couple demos.
So we have a few demos that really just provide a hint of what it takes to turn tinkering into IoT. The sky's the limit, and if you go to the Eureka Park, you'll see almost all the startups are using Arduino to prototype, and some of them even use Arduino products in their production, low volume production runs. So we have 4 little demos we're going to show, and the first thing, just to explain demos, the Internet of Things really starts from collecting data. You have a bunch of sensors out there in the world. Then what Arduino brings is the ability to communicate that data wirelessly, and either peer-to-peer or on the internet. You have data processing, crunching, data analysis, and then some form of display. So first thing we were going to show was we're actually going to take the Primo Core right here. Yep. And this one is live and on, and we're going to show you an app.
I don't know if the camera is able,
So we can have the camera flash down into the app. And so basically this is just Bluetooth low energy, peer-to-peer.
So this is a very simple. This is a very simple demo. Everything is open source. Will be available on our website as usual. So not only the Gerber file, but also the code and whatever. So basically, yeah, you can very easily
take the app.
Open the apps. This is for Android. Then you connect, and of course we have several devices here. We're going to very quickly. I'm sorry, not this one here, but this one here, to pairing, and right away.
Right away, the sensor data is streaming live.
So it's for developers. It's not for final application. That means you can just see some data, but in very, very easy way. And the low power consumption of this module allow you to have the battery up and running over 1 year. That's the goal.
And so in the future, you have cables, or you even have onboard sensors that gets you out of this breadboarding mode and puts you right into you have all the components on one part. The second thing we want to show you is that the data display part is jump to the soil moisture. So we have in one of our booths that's in a remote hotel, we have soil moisture monitoring, and they pull up a display using the My Devices Cayenne onboard display, which is on the internet. Again, all this data flows through the internet, and you can see your data live.
Sure. Can we bring that one up?
And then the other display we have to show is we have the LoRa technology with a GPS tracker on a device that's been roaming about and sprinkling breadcrumbs on the map. So you see how LoRa, the long range, the outdoor, it's kind of like cellular, but low bandwidth, low power. Yeah, these little battery operated nodes can be traveling all over, and you can see.
Do you have one of those nodes that we can see?
We have the nodes in the pocket.
Somewhere.
And
in
the
the
gateway is
pocket.
actually on stage.
The lady in red has a.
And then Tanaya is going to bring up our. Yeah, there's a little node.
So it looks like this one here.
Yeah.
And so it's super low power. About how
Super low
long
power.
would something like this last?
It transmits data every 30 seconds is the way it's configured now, so that could last probably for weeks, months even. Some LoRa setups are meant to last for years.
Okay, perfect.
And then the last one we have is Tanaya has one of just the standard Uno with a LoRa shield and a sensor shield on top connected to a whole bunch of sensors. Okay. Now if you uncover the light sensor, it's meant to have a trigger that should send some data to your cell phone. Okay. And so you need to check. Yeah, we got your phone number in advance.
And yep, sure enough.
Here you go.
The demo gods were with us. So really what Arduino started doing 10 years ago with enabling microcontrollers into the tinkering community, now we're trying to take that tinkering into IoT.
Okay. Perfect. Very cool. So what's next for Arduino here? Is there anything that you guys couldn't achieve in the Primo or the Primo Core?
Yes. We have we just announced these new products. One of the interesting positions that now Arduino has is that we are able, when we talk with the chip vendor, to see what they will release in the next 6-8 months.
Okay.
So that's allow us to build the product and release this product to the community. Basically, the community is the value, as I mentioned before, and they will empower in a way that we don't know. So we build some little layer, and then in top of that, the community are able to really show us the right way to go on this IoT, because the community is us basically, and thanks to this large community around the world, we are able to build some interesting things that wireless charging system, solar panel, and so on. So we have some interesting new stuff that will be available in the next couple of months based on technology like that.
Sure.
We had one slide we missed, the Star Otto, which has the audio in and out.
Talking about this collaboration, we announced it a couple of months ago, the first board with ST. We are targeting the 3D printer. We have a big microcontroller, as you can see, Wi-Fi connectivity, but in this case, very interesting is that we have a microphone built on the board. Okay. So we can talk with the board like you talk with your Amazon Echo or Google Home. I don't know if you guys are familiar. And this is basically allowed to open another landscape in terms of building products and interesting features with this kind of technology.
And that board also supports the touchscreen display, which was the original lamp
video. Everything is built in. And
all with a microcontroller.
And the last slide, just well,
This is still texting me.
yeah, you need
Better close it.
Well, just before Christmas, we opened our first Arduino store. That is a place where basically, of course, we can show Arduino technology, but we show maker technology.
Sure.
And we have a space for workshop. And it's interesting because basically we really would like to see the maker community that can use, this is the first store, but we're going to open several stores around the world, Shenzhen, Tokyo, Boston, we're looking San Francisco, where basically is a space where the maker community can use this place to show share technology and also, why not, to sell what they're able to produce.
Do you guys have workshops or anything like that? Like that
We
there?
are going to, and if you go to the website, you will see a list of workshops all around the world, because the funny story that Arduino is really, it's a very small company. I like to say we have more offices than employees, but we have a huge community. And when we talk about a workshop, we're talking about workshop basically everywhere. Europe, Asia, North America, South America. So it's a lot of organization behind this workshop stuff.
Perfect. Well, I think we're just about out of time, but thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thanks
you
a
very
lot.
much.